So what I've built is a a 75 160, and the intent is to get it up where the wires are perpendicular to each other and they have minimal effect on one another, and we'll see how that works. And at the height I'm getting at, I don't think it's going to be really directional anyway. It's still kind of going to be a cloud burner, so we'll see. It'll be an experiment. It's just for this year until I get my military tower up, that the Trigion AB 1309. That'll get me to 90 feet easily, and we'll see how that works. But that'll be next year. I don't want to do that this year. I don't have the time.
Yeah, a little carrier in there. You had no problem getting over it. That's what my father runs. He has a 8160 dipole that are fed at the same feed point off his tower. Apex about 70 feet, 75 feet, and does well for him. He's had that same combination up, and it's been up for almost 20 years now. The same two pieces of wire in the air. Never had any issue. The only issues he's ever had is with the guy wires for those the ropes, deer running into the rope and breaking the rope, but besides that, or hitting it, I think, with the tractor, but he does well with them, and so you should really like it. Plus, you're at a real high elevation there as well. You get out great on that G5 RV. You always have. I was surprised to hear when the first time I found out that's what you were using. I just always assumed you were on a resonant antenna for this band. But I'll tell you what, man, I worked 100 countries with my G5 RV. I on 20 and 40, and here I did a lot of DXing with that antenna. I've worked into Australia with that antenna, and that was the apex at 40 feet. And either end at about the one end was about 7 feet off the ground. The other one was about 15, maybe 20 at the most. Oriented northeast southwest, but at that height, I mean, it really doesn't make a difference. It's pretty much omnidirectional, but it works great, man. I don't have any qualms about it. But this antenna here, this 125-foot doublet, is a step up with more wire in the air. That does better on 40, does better on 20, and obviously does better here. So I enjoy it. Since 600 ohm ladder line fed, I think I got about maybe 100 foot of feed line out there, maybe a little more. But yeah, I like the switching over the open wire feed. Plus, I live on a postage stamp in the middle of the city, so the less stuff I have cluttering up the yard, looks better, keeps the landlord happy. And like you said about the apex, before the resonant dipole for 75 was just pretty much at the roof line of the homes around here. The apex was, and now a majority of the antenna is up above the roof line of the homes. So I think that had a big effect on things. Anyway, I'm gonna sit back, and there's a bunch of other people in here. I want to go run in the other room, fill up my soda, a nice tall glass of A&W root beer. And we'll be back in a couple minutes. K3FEF, W3MMR.
All right, yeah, and I'll just, one more comment. I would tell anybody that's just getting started, if you had one antenna to put up, and that was it, go for a G5 RV. I mean, they do fine. And like you, I had great results with DXing. I mean, I've hit Japan, Australia, Europe with no problems. So, they work good. They're guys love to bust on them, and that's normal. But yeah, a good doublet certainly will serve its purpose better, depending on what frequencies you operate. So that's what I'm shooting to do now. But I got two G5 RVs. One, they're kind of crisscross and I can switch between the two, and they work fine. They do the job. They're just not ideal. They're not perfect, and I still need a tuner. So with the doublets, I hope to get rid of the tuner and be able to work my favorite frequencies plus 160 once we get there. Anyway, like you, I'm going to step away for a minute. I have to relieve myself in the command center after 9 beers since 12 o'clock, I think, or so. So I'll be listening. I'll be hanging around. W3MMR, this is K3FEF. And hello, everybody else on the frequency. So somebody else pick it up.
Real good, Mike. We'll catch you in a bit. W3MMR.
Yeah, I'm back. I had to reconfigure the Wi-Fi for the amplifier. Not the Wi-Fi, but the LAN. You know, I did those updates for the Raspberry Pi and the amp I was screwing with earlier.
Yes, I remember hearing you talking about that. But you are back online, I see.
Yeah, well, for some reason after the updates, it didn't have a DNS server listed, so I had no internet in the amp. Which is not that big of a deal, but you do the updates through the internet, so I wanted to make sure I had that, but anyway, that's working now. I hope it's not that mod transformer in that DX100.
No, I don't know. I wouldn't think it would be, because it worked fine last night when I shut it off and turned it on, and I didn't see any type of smoke or anything, but not that I know that if you would with a bad mod transformer, but maybe it's just something loose. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, turned it on, went to key it up. Well, it's been on for about probably a half hour before I keyed it up, and then just puts out normal carrier and just really no audio. I can turn it all the way up to 10, and I get a little bit of audio, but like I said, the pattern on the scope looks real funky, and we'll check the mod meter, and it barely moves. It sits normal where it idles at around 70 mils, I think where it idles at. Anyway, wherever I could be wrong, don't hold me to that. But it's normally where it idles at. The idle current is normal on it, so that's a good sign, I guess.
Even when it's not keyed, it has idling current?
Yeah, it always does.
Okay. I don't know. Hope maybe it's just a bad mic connection or something.
Well, I tried a different mic, and it's still the same thing. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I guess that's what happens when you use old stuff. Thing is 60-something years old. I've had no issues with it, really, so I'm not really complaining.
It sounds like complaining to me, actually.
I guess I guess if you want to look at it that way, then complain it be.
That's what I have, the problem that I know I'm getting older. That's why I have duct tape and popsicle sticks. I figured Frank would understand that one.
Yeah. Who's that way out there? You're way up there in the state of Maine. Good afternoon, Glenn. Welcome to the Grupo down here in the south of you. I understand we might be getting some snow towards the end of the week. I saw a few snow flurries on the weather app by TV. I don't know. It's a little early for that down here.
Hey, Glenn.
Hi, Glenn.
What's going on? I'm pissing and moaning.
Yeah, I know. I'm pissing and moaning. I'm complaining. My whole bucket of bolts broke. So, oh well. I'm hoping that, I leave it off for a little bit. I gotta turn it back on and it works again. I think somebody's got a battery charger plugged in. One of my neighbors or something. There's some noise I've never heard before below the 75-meter band. They're doing construction like 2 houses down. I think they have one of their chargers plugged in. I've become so paranoid with this noise situation.
I was just thinking the same thing. You got, I mean, even over here, it's always something. And plus, 160 is going to be noisier than here anyway. It's just the way it is. So, it's just, it's ham radio, man. We're amateurs, not professionals, and it's the way it goes. You got to make the best of it,
That's right. Yeah, I woke up this morning and my noise floor was like 2 dB higher than it's been. I was like, what is it? What's going on?
There's more crap shows up on 75 now today. Periodically get that whap, whap, whap over the horizon radar, so you never know what you got for noise there at K3FEF.
Well, Clark was saying that bam, 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 or the AKA the Boston Buzzy is a university measuring the height of the ionosphere or something. I don't know. Clark, you in there? No, I guess not. Yeah, that's how he explained it. Something like that, but no, living where I live, it's just, there's 50 homes in a half a mile. Yes, the half a square mile here. So there's so many, so many possibilities for noise to interfere with me here on HF. So what are you gonna do?
Just run more power, I guess. Well, Glenn, I haven't talked to you in a while. N1YTN, K3FEF. How's things up to Bodenham? Sunshiny day. The antenna came down during that last week. All up. I take it down, take it back in the air again yesterday. Up there where it belongs now, once again. Our best thing to do. Oh, dear. Jumping around the house all day today. More updates running. The rider and yep, stainless steel cable. Both went into the antenna up. Laying on the ground. That's great. You ran over it. I just cut it off. Don't chisel my little hands up. I'll get the more of that. That's off. See if I get the rest of the cable off. The blade stains. Yay. Wow. More. Wouldn't do it any pretty good, I can tell you. Yeah, it didn't throw the keyway, did it? The balance keyway on that? I assume it's, not two-stroke. Oh, no, this is the rider. 42-inch deck rider. Sometimes you get some precipitation. That's something, I don't know. I gotta take the deck off. That's all it is. Take the deck off, take it apart, keep that cable out of it. Yeah, it's always something. Well, for what it's worth, Glenn, you're 40 over here in the Vermont, so nice signal. Very nice signal. Terry, you've been 20 over up here the whole time, so, whatever you work. And I haven't had Mike in a while, K3FEF there. I don't know, you put up something at 90 feet, Mike, you might, you might be 40, 60, something over up here. But anyway, nice signals tonight here on 75, but, anyway, K3FEF.
Hey, you're 15 over down this way, Greg. No, just on the Anon and the AL80B, about 170 watts of carrier around there, give or take some. And seems to do all right. I'm happy with the way it works. But you're definitely sounding good down this way, man. A little stronger than you were earlier this morning. But I guess that's to be expected with this time in the evening. Man, it's not 5 o'clock on the dot, and here comes the nighttime. This whole time change thing. I wish they would just keep the clocks, where they're at. Not now, but just before yesterday, and just leave the time alone.
Well, that's what I've always said. Leave the time alone, and it is what it is. But yeah, I'm on a different radio too. I was on the 7300 this morning there, and I'm on the old Kenwood TS430S and driving the same amplifier, but on a different rig. This has always done fairly well here on the AM, so. But yeah, you got a nice signal. And Glenn, like I said, you're 40 over here. You have really nice signal here this evening. But boy, twisted up in a lawnmower like that. Holy smokes, that wreaks havoc. I did it once before. I got a hold of what the hell I got outside. I got something, and it spooled right up on that spindle. Shut that mower off, busted the keyway, and out of balance that motor went, and that was all she wrote.
I'll be right back, guys. I gotta fill up my soda. W3MMR.